How one guy turned $100K into $4 million in just a week. This and more in today's video. Hello, I'm Alex and welcome to our Spotlight, where Leslie and I covers interesting things found on Reddit. Today, we will be covering one of my favorite thread, the Wall Street Bets, and one of the best trades of January 2020. It all started with this post by WSBGod on 1st February. Take me to Mars, Elon. How to read this picture. 446 contracts for the option to purchase Tesla share at the price of $1,000 per contract. Note, at this time, the price of a Tesla stock is around $600. And the reaction to this?
Jesus Christ Almighty, how much cocaine did you snort for this legendary dumbass position? If it hits $900 by the beginning of March, I will tattoo Daddy Musk on the left side of my neck. It for sure is a legendary dumbass position. But it would be a freaking lottery ticket if it hits, and he makes more money than anyone else in WSB history. I love this subreddit, but it sometimes hurts seeing people literally light the entirety of my student loans on fire. This is one of those times. This is absolute insanity, and no, it isn't the same as it going from 200 to 600. You people have lost your minds. What could possibly happen in the next 60 days to add that kind of market cap?
Then, this happens.
It's happening. It sure is, the joke is on us. This means that the majority of us are legendary dumbasses for not following his lead.
The next trading day, Tesla price shot to $786, and people had been clamoring for him to sell off his option. Before I continue, here's an explanation of what an option is. Options are the option to purchase or sell at a particular price, but if that price is not favorable at the exercise date, your option contract is worth $0. For example, if you bought a call option for $2 a share to call a stock at $80 when it was trading at $75, you could make good money if that stock runs up to $100. The option would be in the money by $20, and you paid $2. The upside is about 1,000% return. On the other hand, if the stock goes down in value, staying below $80, your option contract is worthless, and that $2 investment loss is 100% of the money you put into it. Compare that to if you bought shares of the stock. If you bought shares at $75, expecting it to go up, you would make $25 per share, 33% return, if you sold at $100 per share. On the other hand, if the stock went down to $70, you would lose $5 per share, assuming you sold it, which is another way you could control risk when buying shares, or a less than 6% loss. Buying options, the return was 1,000% upside or minus 100% downside in the above example, while direct shares had a 33% upside and minus 6% downside in the exact same circumstances. Then, this screenshot appears, and we have a better position of what's really going on. WSBGod didn't sell off his calls yet. Balls of steel. On this day, Tesla shot up to a high of $969 per share from $540 just 6 trading days ago. Here's a version with more in-depth explanation of what's going on.
I'll be that girl with the non-snarky answer. Explain like I'm 5 version. The dude made a bet that he was likely to lose $125,000 on. The only way he could make serious money is if the Tesla stock nearly doubled by the end of March, which was highly unlikely. On the other hand, there was a lot of scenarios he could lose the entire $125,000. For example, the stock price stayed the same, or went down, or even if it goes up but not by enough in a 3-month period. The bet paid off big time, and he already paid back his initial $125,000. Plus is now sitting on several $1 million in potential profit, assuming he doesn't keep holding long enough for the Tesla stock price to crash back down. Longer version, back in January he purchased 446 call option contracts. Each contract covers 100 shares, and when he bought them the premium was $2.27 to $3.05 per share, so in total, he paid roughly $125,000 for the transactions up front. 44,600 shares multiplied by premium price. These contracts basically give the holder the choice, but not the obligation, to purchase shares at an underlying strike price before the expiration date. The contracts WSBGod purchased have a $1,000 strike price, and expire on March 20th. At the time when he purchased them, Tesla stock was only trading around $550. So basically, in order for them to be worth anything, the stock price would have to go up close to $1,000 by March 20, 2020. That's why the premium was so cheap. Since Tesla's share price shot up in value over the last week, the premium went up from the roughly $3 he paid, to $100. He already sold 26 of the contracts for enough premium to cover his $125,000 initial investment, and still owns 420 more. Since each contract covers 100 shares, this means he could now sell those 420 contracts for roughly $4.2 million. 42,000 shares multiply by $100 each, earning him a shit ton of profit. If the price didn't go up significantly, the contracts would be essentially worthless, and he'd have lost $125,000, and transaction/broker fees. Even if the price went up to $900, but it happened on say the 17th of March, it'd be worthless and he'd have lost $125,000, and transaction/broker fees. This is a great example why options trading can have way bigger upside versus regular stock trading. Had he initially spent that $125,000 on regular Tesla stock, he could have only afforded around 227 shares at the $550 price back in January. Today, those 227 shares would be worth around $200,000, so he would have only made $75,000 in profit, versus several million. But it's also way riskier. In the above example, if he owned 227 shares of regular stock, and the Tesla price happened to drop in half to $275, his position would be worth $62,425. It would be for sure shitty that he would be down $62,500 from his original $125,000 investment, but he could still hold onto the stock and recover some of those losses, or at least sell the stock and not lose the entire investment. The only way he could lose everything is if the stock price went to $0, which would be highly unlikely. On the other hand, if he buys call contracts, and the TSLA share price dropped by just $1 to $549 when March 20th rolls around, the contracts would expire, and he'd lose 100% of his $125,000 investment, plus broker/transaction fees, with nothing to show.
Here's a recap of the journey so far. So recap. 1. OP spent $125,868 for the right to buy 44,600 shares of Tesla for $1,000 per share on or before March 20. Specifically, they bought 446 calls for around $2.82 per call. Each call is a contract for 100 shares, so multiply by 100. They did this in a Roth IRA, so none of the gains are taxable. When OP did this, the price per share of Tesla was less than $650. The $125,868 purchase price is called option value or premium. 2. People called OP a retard. 3. The stock price of Tesla went up a lot. The option value went up far more because that's what happens with deep out of the money calls. OP sold 26 of their calls this morning at an average price of $51.59 per call, essentially taking their cost basis off the table, $134,132. 4. The screenshot shows the remaining 420 calls worth $100 per call. $4.2 million. During the course of the day after OP took the screenshot, the price per call went up to around $150 per call, $6.3 million, then fell down to $95 per call, $3.99 million. Now we all wait to see what happens next. At this point WSBGod stopped replying, and Tesla's price fell of its peak. He returned with this screenshot of his portfolio, and the people clamored that it was fake. Until the top mod verified it. What a big run in wealth. While we may never know exactly how much was earned for this call, because he had another longer period option on Tesla as well, we know that he earned in between $4.0 million to $6.3 million on this round on just $125,000. What a crazy race. That's it for today. Do me a favor and like and subscribe for more. I'm Alex and see you soon.